Welcome to Our Mountains. I'm Rhonda Brashear.
I'm Dean Osborne.
I'm Joel Brashear. And in a few minutes, we've got some special guests from Alice Lloyd College who are going to be singing My Old Kentucky Home. Now, for any UK football fan or basketball fan, when you hear that song, it automatically takes you right to Commonwealth Stadium or Rupp Arena. I remember ever since I was a little boy, Dad's always taking me to the ball games. And hearing My Old Kentucky Home just brings back great memories.
It does, it does. And I have a memory. A few years ago, I was playing dulcimer at the Kentucky State Fair. We were at the booth there, and people would literally stop in their tracks and stop by my booth and stand there and either sing along or just stand there and listen to the My Old Kentucky Home. It is endearing.
You know, the writer of that song, Stephen Foster, never lived in the house that we consider My Old Kentucky Home, but while visiting there, he was said to have written those words, and I don't know what magic transpired from that time to even the present time, but I do know that no other songs really captured the hearts of Kentuckians and those that love Kentucky, even if they're not from here, better than that song. Let's give a listen to the voices of Appalachia Choir singing My Old Kentucky Home.
The sun shines bright in my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the old folks are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, hard times comes a knocking at the door. Then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady, no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away. Weep no more, my lady, no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home, far away, far away.
What a great song. In case you didn't recognize him, that was Richard Bowers leading the choir. He's been our guest many times on Our Mountains, and we appreciate him bringing the students from the Voices of Appalachia Choir over. When we come back, we'll have some woodworking from our friend Richard Adams. Don't go away.
Passion, personalized care, and a mission to serve women and families in Kentucky. We are Frontier Nursing University. Through distance education and clinicals in your own community, become a nurse midwife and share your passion for women and family care. Visit frontier.edu.
Wood turning has been around for hundreds of years. Joel and I recently went to London, Kentucky. We met with Richard Adams. He's a true artist. He took this craft and has turned it into a wonderful art form. Here, take a look.
Well, I've been doing woodworking all my life, and in some form or another. My dad always had saws and worked around the house and did different things and cabinet work. And whether it was busting up firewood or anything like that, I would just, the smell of the wood and just the texture. And I love wood. I think wood is alive. It just has a certain liveliness to it, for lack of a better word.
When the time came to start his business, Richard looked to the past for inspiration.
The name Wooden Tricks, it's really ironic how it started, because when I needed to name my business something, some artists are their name. Well, Richard Adams is pretty common name, so I thought, I've got to name it something. And then it dawned on me that my dad used to call little bandsaw boxes that I made and different things. He'd come down in the garage and he'd say, "Do you have any wooden tricks made?" And it just stuck, and I thought, wooden tricks. So I thought, that's really, and so it was back in my mind. And so he named the business and didn't really know that he named it Wooden Tricks. And of course, it's wood that I work with. Tricks, one definition of tricks is an artful way of getting a result. So I thought, that's it, that'll cover it all, Wooden Tricks. Sounds kind of simple, but that's it.
Richard takes blocks of wood and turns them into works of art.
Most of my work are bowls. I love turn bowls. I do some hollow forms, pepper mills. It's just all things wood turned on the lathe, basically. But what I do is I start with a tree, a log. Once I shape it, round it up to get it, rough shaped, I can place it between centers on the lathe and spin it, and then of course just carve it with various tools. Okay, well let's take a look at this one, for example. The way that it came out of the tree, the way the grain runs, would be the pith, the very center of the tree. The growth rings run around here, so it would come out of the tree like this. So in theory, you could get another bowl on the other side of the tree. And once you chainsaw it up and block it up and make sure there aren't any cracks or anything in the wood, because you don't want those in your finished piece. And also, I love to make boxes, little boxes with suction fit lids. In this case, this is dogwood. This is kind of a underfitting lid. Most of them that I make are overfitting. They just seem to do a lot better. But I've always loved this little piece. I do big bowls. This is not too big. I do even much larger than this. In this case, this is a spalted American elm, and it is just beautiful with all the different textures that the spalting creates, with the dark lines in it. And it just has no rhyme or reason. It's just really beautiful. There's another thing I'm experimenting with is metal inlay. There's various metals that you can put into the wood to incorporate it into the piece to make, you can make little motifs or any kind of design that you want on the wood. In this case, I just filled some voids, some knots, and did a little extra carving just to kind of make it interesting. So, okay, there's another thing that's interesting that you can do on the lathe, and that is threads, and they're hand chased threads. This is a hollow form that I made, and it's made out of 4 different woods: ambrosia maple burl, cocobolo rosewood, and dogwood, and black walnut. And this piece, the reason for the different woods is that there's only so many woods that you can hand chase threads. There's not very many, because it becomes real chippy. So dogwood is something that is very dense, tightly grained. Also, ebony would be a good one, but in this case, rosewood. And the nice thing is just you hand chase the threads while it's spinning on the lathe. You have to be really careful. I hear there's a way that you master it. You get a ton of dogwood and lock yourself in the shed for a year, and then you come out all screwed up. So.
One of Richard's favorite projects may also be one of the most difficult: hand-carved pins.
I love to make pins, because it's almost like playing chess with your mind. For each pin style, there are so many different drill bits and different combinations of parts and pieces, and to keep them all separated and get them together just right, once you turn the wood, it's it's quite a challenge. So I enjoy making pens.
Richard would like to start working with other materials in addition to wood as he moves forward.
There's a lot of future ideas that I have as far as my work. What I really love to do, I love glass, and I have some stained glass, I guess, set up for stained glass, and I always wanted to put that into areas of a bowl, for example, that maybe had a knot, and I'm really working on trying to put that in there. But I love wood, I love glass, I love metal, and I love metalworking. So those three, I would love to combine them some way, perhaps eventually way down the road into sculptural forms or something. I still want to try to make it somewhat useful as far as that's concerned, but just something really beautiful. That's where I'm going with it.
To find out more about Richard Adams and his work, check out his website at woodentricks.com. You can also reach him on Facebook. Just search Wooden Tricks.
Thanks, Joel. As you can see, I've got one of Richard's products right here, and it is a work of art. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more of our mountains.
One voice, unifying banking in Kentucky, our Commonwealth. We are the Kentucky Bankers Association. We are the KBA. The KBA is a nonprofit trade organization that has been providing legislative, compliance, education, and vendor solutions to its member institutions since 1891. The KBA's directors and staff work together with its members to make the financial services industry in Kentucky a more effective and successful place to work. The mission of the KBA is to provide effective advocacy for banks in Kentucky and on a national level. We strive to serve as a reliable and responsive source of information and education about areas of interest to the Kentucky banker. The strength of the Kentucky Bankers Association is bankers unifying as an industry to speak as one voice. With one voice, we are a Commonwealth.
I was born in Oregon, headed east for Appalachia, gonna get me some Bill Monroe and the Stanley Bros. They painted pictures that touched my soul. I've been studying on these women in your songs, little girls on Grandpa's knees, listening to Shady Grove. Pretty Polly, won't you come along with me? Before you are married, won't you listen to me? Come all ye fair ladies, take warning from me. Never place your affections on a green growing tree, for the leaves they will wither and the roots they will die. He'll leave you forsaken and you'll not know why. I've been studying all these women in your songs, little girls on Grandpa's knees, listening to Shady Grove. I was born in Oregon, headed east for Appalachia, gonna get me some Bill Monroe and the Stanley Bros. They painted pictures that touched my soul. I've been studying on these women in your songs, little girls on Grandpa's knees, listening to Shady Grove.
This week, I put in a request for Mom to make a casserole she used to make when I was growing up. It's an old family recipe one of her aunts used to make. Mom?
Welcome back to our mountains. My sister made, for a family reunion a few years ago, she made these really nice cookbooks and put pictures of the family and some of the old recipes that were handed down from our aunts and grandmothers. And I picked one today that I think you're really going to like. It's called Connecticut Beef Supper. Now, if you're in a hurry, you cannot make this in a hurry. It takes pretty much the better part of a day to make this. So to save some time for the camera, I went ahead and I cooked the beef. I have 2 pounds of stew beef, which I cut up in about 1-inch cubes, and I cooked that with 2 large onion slices and got it really good and tender. For the benefit of the camera and for time constraints, I went ahead and cooked the beef and onions, and they're all ready. They cooked for right about an hour, so they're nice and tender. So we're going to put this together now. I'm going to take an ungreased baking dish and pour my meat in it. So into the ungreased casserole dish, I'm going to pour the meat. And the juices look really good. Smells really good too. It's actually thickened up a little bit. 2 pounds of stew beef cooks down a whole lot. So it just covers the bottom of this casserole dish. And on top of this, I'm going to place some potatoes that I went ahead and parboiled. I sliced them and just barely got them a little bit tender. So I'm going to place those right on top of the beef. So this is definitely a 1-dish meal. It's very hearty, and I think your family will love it. Next, we're going to make a mixture to pour over this. Now, I'm going to use 1.25 cups of milk. And I used condensed milk today to make it even richer. We're going to use about 1 cup of sour cream, 1/2 cup to 1 cup. You can just use to your taste. And 1 cup of shredded cheese, which that's about 1 cup right there in that bag. And a can of mushroom soup. So you probably have most of these ingredients in your pantry already. So on a good cold day when you have nothing else to cook, this would be good. So just stir all of that together. And then pour it right over your meat and potatoes. I'm going to spoon it on. Looks pretty good, huh? All right, and just kind of let that all meld together there. Then I'm going to top it with about 1 cup, maybe not a whole cup, of crushed cereal. And like I say, I'm using wheat Chex today. You could use Wheaties or Corn Flakes. You could probably even use cracker crumbs, but I'm just going to go ahead and use these Chex cereals today. All right, that's it. Now, pop this in the oven for an hour, at least an hour. So 350 degrees. And here is the Connecticut beef supper, all hot and bubbly and ready to eat. And who's hungry? Let's chow down. So here it is. It's got the beef and the cheese sauce. It's kind of like a cross between scalloped potatoes and beef. Everything in one dish. It looks great.
Thanks, Mom. That looks amazing. I'll be having me a plate of that here in just a few minutes. Now, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to hear some amazing music from a young lady named Madison Lewis. Don't go anywhere.
passion, personalized care, and a mission to serve women and families in Kentucky. We are Frontier Nursing University. Through distance education and clinicals in your own community, become a nurse midwife and share your passion for women and family care. Visit frontier.edu.
Welcome back to Our Mountains. The segment coming up is one of my favorites because it features a very young lady with a very mature voice. Miss Madison Lewis comes from Laurel County. We've had her on the program before, but every time you get a chance to hear her, I know she's going to make a great impression. The song is called Mama's Teaching Angels How to Sing. Here's Madison Lewis.
There's a voice now missing in our little country choir. Rock of Ages will never sound the same. God heard her singing, and heaven was not complete. Now Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Heaven's halls are silent when she sings. David lays down his harp and heaven bells won't ring. When Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Heaven's halls are silent when Mama sings. David lays down his harp and heaven bells won't ring. When Mama's teaching angels how to sing. When Mama's teaching angels how to sing. When Mama's teaching angels how to sing.
What a song from Madison Lewis. That young lady has a lot of talent and a great future ahead of her. It was our pleasure to have her on the stage of the Kentucky School of Bluegrass and Traditional Music. Don't go away. Our Mountains will be right back.
Our Mountains is sponsored by Frontier Nursing University, Pioneers for Healthcare. The Kentucky Bankers Association. More than banks, they're your neighbors.
The Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, inspiring charitable giving, investing in our communities.
Flat broke and crying over you. Ain't got a nickel and I've lost you too. I'm so lonesome, oh so blue. Flat broke crying over you. I'm so lonesome, so sad it's true. Cried my heart out and missing you. I got trouble, don't know what to do. I'm flat broke crying over you. Flat broke and crying over you. Ain't got a nickel nickel and now I've lost you too. I'm so lonesome, oh so blue, flat broke crying over you. Broke my heart into its seams, changed my plans and shattered all my dreams. Never thought our love could end so soon. Left me flat broke crying over you. Flat broke and crying over you. Ain't got a nickel and now I've lost you too. I'm so lonesome, oh so blue, flat broke crying over you. Don't have a penny to my name, seems that I've lost at life's cruel game. Looks like that I'm the one to blame. Lost my love, oh what a crying shame. Flat broke and crying over you. Ain't got a nickel and now I've lost you too. I'm so lonesome, oh so blue, flat broke crying over you. Well, I'm so lonesome, oh so blue, flat broke crying over you.
Well, that does it for another week of our mountains.
You know, folks, if you missed any of this one or any of the other episodes we've done, they're all online. You can check out our Facebook or YouTube pages, and sometimes we even put things that haven't been on the show, online exclusives. So check out those. The address is there on your screen. Now, Dean, anything going on at the college?
We're always happy to register students for our classes at the Kentucky School of Bluegrass and Traditional Music through HCTC. That information's on the screen as well. And if you're in Hyden, Kentucky, stop by. We'd love to give you a tour of our school.
See you next time.
Bye.